Hello, everybody. My name is Juniper Bloom Mystique. That is the image that you see in front of you. The reason I'm doing it this way is because I'm going to show you some things today. So if you are new here, please understand that I am not normal. I am not like anybody you are going to see or witness, and I am not here to please you, but I am here to do the work of God. That is what I do. That is what I've been doing since my own awakening in 2019. Who I am took me a long time to understand. So I don't expect you to understand in one video. But what I do expect is for you to maybe hopefully shut off judgment and watch the videos on my channel before you form an opinion of who I am. Because if you come here with judgment, it cuts you off from light. Because God does not judge. Anything with God is not judgment. It does not align to the light of the one. Now I need to show you something very important. I have been bringing about the ascension since 2019. Today's video I'm going to show you is the latest one I have done, which is the preparation for the event. The event comes through my DM and I, my twin flame and I. It is the massive light, massive amounts of Christ light you could possibly imagine. Okay. And anything outside that light that remains on this planet will burn. What the ascension truly is the return of Christ. It is not just everybody going, yay, we're ascending, we're going into new energies. The veil is finally lifted. Guess who lifted the veil? I did. And I'm going to prove that to you. The problem is that you have to watch. You have to watch what I show you, because if you choose not to see God, if you choose not to hear me and to go into judgment, it hurts you. Okay, so don't do that. You don't have to believe me right away. I'm not asking for you to do that. I'm asking you to witness what it is that I say without forming judgment, okay? Because I truly want everybody to ascend. I remember when I first had my awakening, I told God, what I'm doing is not normal, and I want everybody to ascend. And he reminded me that it is through free will. The work that I was doing was going to change the world, but it is through free will for them to join me. So my name is Juniper Bloom Mystique. I am an Ascen.Master, master healer, and a divine guide. I am, in fact, the one who brought about the ascension. Somebody actually came to my channel the other day and made a comment that I didn't do this. It's everybody. It's the collective soul that brought about the ascension, and that is very false. If I did not survive, none of you would have. That is who I am. Okay? So let me show you what that means. All right? I had a Kundalini awakening in 2019. I was not into the spiritual aspect of things. I was raising my children and had a psychological degree. Okay. I was working in the behavioral field with children and adults who could not communicate verbally and teaching them how to get along in the world around them. That is what I was doing. Okay. Then I had a Kundalini awakening. All right. Now, I dried the Nile up. If you watch that, they'll tell you who I am. I am what they call the Queen of Life. I am not a chosen one. I am the one. Okay. I have changed the course of reality for every single one of you. All right. When my awakening occurred, I started seeing things. It was massive. It was one like I have never heard anybody talk about to this day. Okay. I've never heard anybody talk about it to this day of any experience like mine, because I'm not normal. And I literally heard God tell me I'm not like anybody else. I'm here to change the world. And then I was going to watch the world change. In order for me to do that, I had to accept who I was and allow myself to be everything that I am. Now I know what that meant. And at that time, I didn't. I thought I was just going to be doing healings and curing cancer, because I heal that as well. I have healed heart disease. I have healed cancer. I have healed certain things in people throughout the years. So I know as a healer, I'm already very different than anybody I've ever met. And you can go ahead and argue this with me. I'm not downplaying anybody else's gifts and talents. What I am telling you is I am unequivocally the one who brought about the ascension. It is the return of Christ. I am the one who returned Christ. Okay. Do you remember the Bible, right? There's certain parts of it that are true. There's certain parts of it that are not. I brought all the true parts about. The real way Jesus died, I processed his death in this one. This was one of the first things I did back in 2021, 2020. 2020, I believe. And I thought that was it. I was like, oh my gosh, the rising of Jesus. I know how he died. I freed his soul. And at that time, it went into the Garden of Eden. It was a very painful death because I felt every bit of it. It was blowing my mind. All I did was a Patreon healing. I had people there to witness it and be with me during it. And I processed Jesus's death. I saw him in his real life. I saw how he died. It was very, very, very painful. It took him a good 20 or 30 minutes to die. He was poisoned by John the Apostle with bread and wine, which is why they call it the Last Supper. The Holy Grail was not the cup either. They used that cup he drank the poisoned wine in, and had Mary Magdalene after that gather his blood in the cup, which I didn't process until last Christmas Day. On Christmas Day last year was the next part of what happened to Jesus, and it happened live on this channel. Okay. Now, why is this happening to me? Because it's my twin flame. All right. Jesus is my twin flame. Do you want more proof of that? That is right here. He finally took his soul. Okay. Because my original twin flame died. And I can prove that too. If you watch my channel, all of my channel shows all of these, but these are the specific ones that I did the work through. Okay. The day my DM died. So my first twin flame did die. All right, because we were attacked by fallen angels. I almost died myself. That's what you guys don't realize, is I'm not like anybody else. I almost died myself. This was how the return of Christ was supposed to play out between my original DM and I. God married us in this one. It came through in a workshop, okay? These would just come through me and to me. It was part of my own awakening journey. Who I am in the 144,000. I am the leader of the divine feminines, and my DM is the leader of the masculines, period, okay? I'm the one who brought down all the Christ light. I'm the one who took us into 7D. This was part 1 of that. And then this was part 2 of that. So everything I do tends to happen in 2s and 3s. Okay. Activating pyramids. This is not normal. And this one, they told me one of my lifetimes I was Sekhmet. And that was right before I dried the Nile. And they told me I was the queen of life. Okay. The reason I'm saying this is because if you guys don't get this, if you don't stop throwing judgment at these, and you're not willing to just open your heart and see, you're in trouble. Okay. Because the end is near. But that's why I'm still going. Okay. Because God told me to do that. God told me no matter what, keep going, keep being myself, even if people can't see my light. Okay. Because a lot of people can't see God. You've been praying to a false God. So when Jesus was murdered, they had Mary Magdalene take his blood. Okay, wait. This one is the one I processed his death, and his soul went into the Garden of Eden. I was like, that's weird. It didn't go up. It went sideways into the Garden of Eden. Okay. And I talk about that. I didn't know it was coming. And this was witnessed. All right. And recorded. Everything I've done has been witnessed and recorded because Spirit told me to. And I didn't know why. I argued with them the whole way. Like, people are rude. That's what I would say. People are mean. You know, I don't want to be judged. And they said, but you're not like everybody else. I was like, but everybody just does these videos. They're like, you're not like everybody else. Just record it. Just do Hertz music. So I do that as well. Okay. I'm uploading a video too. I do everything Spirit tells me to do because I have every key into the new earth and how to live in the new earth. Okay. And I didn't know that at first. I just diligently listen to God. That's what I do. No matter what people want to judge or throw at me. Okay. So no, I'm not like everybody else. Yes, I did it by myself. Wasn't just supposed to be me though. It was supposed to be my twin flame. But unfortunately, my first one chose against God and he did die. Okay. And I got a walk in. So I do literally have a new twin flame and you can watch that. Okay. This is me undoing the collective shadow. I had to do the collective and individual shadow out of the earth. So everything I've done is to the earth. Okay. And it is up to you to find your way home to God, which I have the path home. The path to righteousness is your only guaranteed path home. I'm not making that up. Okay. I have walked 4 people through the gates so far. The new earth is heaven. It's heaven on earth. Revelations 21, all of Revelations is what I brought about. Here's part 2 of taking us into 7D. I undid all the darkness of the moon, which these are only a part of what I've done. The rest of what I've done is in the actual path to righteousness. I'm going to show you this again because what I say takes a while to understand. Okay. I have courses that I've been creating the entire time. In the path to righteousness, I actually have you call your power back. I teach you how, and then I heal it for you. I heal all your karmic patterning and I draw it to the surface. Because as you're about to rise through the 13 gates, regardless of whether you do my thing or not, if you're not healed all the way, you won't make it. This is what they call Judgment Day, except God does not judge. What it is you reap what you sow. It's all karmic based. Okay. Now, the reason I'm showing you these contents is because you don't understand the brevity of the work I've done. I am the sole proprietor of the one who brought about the ascension. Okay. Everybody else has their own purpose, but they're star seeds, they're light workers. They're just meant to give the word of God. They're meant to do their own versions of things. It is not mine. All right. I have healed all darkness back to the beginning of time. So in the path to righteousness, this shows you all the work I've done. You have to, number one, we call your power back. No, this one's awakening. Stepping stones to awakening is first. So I awaken you, no matter how awake you think you are, this will awaken you. Okay. It does not matter how awake you think you are. People have used this that were already awake quite well, could see quite a bit. And then they would use this and still wake up even more. Okay. Then it's the hidden shadow. Elimination of the collective and individual shadow is next. Okay. Because no matter who you are, you were born into the collective shadow, and you have your own individual shadow pieces as well. Shadow is not what people think it is. They're pretty close. It's darkness, right? It's things that we don't accept in ourselves, but that's not it. It's El Diablo. It's the fallen angels. It's everything that I have battled over the last 4 years and removed from this planet. I alone have closed all 12 gates of darkness, Revelations 21:12, and I opened up the 13th into heaven, and that is the new earth. And if you can't rise through those, you don't get to stay. If your heart is not pure and removed of all karmic and shadow, you don't get to stay. Now, each one of these is like an hour, 2 hours long, and each one of these individually would cost $100 or more. Okay. So you guys don't realize is it took me 4 years to bring about the ascension. I undid all darkness and what took them lifetimes to create. The ones that did help me are the ones that rose with me. There is one, what God calls them apostles. I was supposed to have 10. I did not get that because some fell off when my DM fell off. When my original twin flame fell off, some of them fell off as well. That is why people started judging me, is because he chose darkness, unfortunately. So if you think right now that your shadow isn't something you have to completely get rid of, that you are not allowed to have any darkness within you to make it into the new earth, you're wrong. You're in your shadow. Okay. You can't have ego. You can't have karma, and you can't have shadow. Into the new earth, I do a heart review. I get your key. I hold all the keys. This is not a joke. It's not a joke. Okay. I've done plenty of them so far. I even got my DM's key, my new one. I couldn't make this up if I tried. I am not mentally ill. Okay. I prove it. I do live healings. I do live messages. I do healings all the time for people and heal things that are not normal. I have a psychology degree. I've worked on the crisis line. I know who I am. It's not my job necessarily to prove that to you guys. It's your job to hear God. And if you can't, you're in trouble at this point, because I'm going to show you in a minute something that I have done. Okay. I've been showing you guys the work that I've been doing, but I've been doing the 21 days, which is bringing about the final component, the event. And yesterday we did the end of time. Okay. Recently, I also did Revelations 21:13 was completed. That prophecy was fulfilled. I did it. Okay. I use Christ's light. It's my light. I work through God. That is the only one higher than me. All right. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? I ascended the angels. I did that in the end of this. Look at all this. This is your path to righteousness. This final mass timeline purge right here. What? Look at that. It's an hour and 11 minutes. I just noticed that. I actually ascend the angels in this one because they're ascending as well. I took us into 7D, not 5D. That was when I was being attacked by my own twin flame and the fallen angels, and I should have died. Spirit called me mahogany because I survived what I should not have survived. The portal of the Nile, you have to go through that. Now, each one of these is trials and tribulations. Each gate that you pass through, you are tested by God through your own karmic patterning. Every past life you've had will no longer exist. They don't. They've all been measured and combined into this one because this is a great reset. If you don't make it into the new earth, you don't stay here. There's 3 components. Some will stay, some will go, and some will never know life this way. If you do not make it into the new earth, you don't stay here. And if you judge the one who brought it about, what does that do for you? If you can't see what I've done and who I am, what does that do for you? This is not my ego. Believe me, I could have cared less to be famous. Okay. That is not my goal. My goal is to do what I've done and survive it and change the world. And I did that. And I'm so proud of what I've done. I brought about the return of Christ. Okay. Which my lifetimes were, Sekhmet and Horus, Adam and Eve, and Jesus and Mary Magdalene. Those are what I have undone, is all the darkness in those lifetimes. I united the twin flames, which was Adam and Eve, Jesus and Mary Magdalene, and Sekhmet and Horus. Jesus and Mary Magdalene portal, resurrection of Christ, undoing of the false Holy Grail. The Holy Grail, so taking us into 7D. Look, there's a lot more than you guys think. I don't show you everything on my channel. All right, chakra awakening. We have 10 chakras now, not 7, and the main ones for those that get to ascend. 7D upgrades and sapphire rays, 7D upgrades and planetary alignment, body upgrades, CNS, DNA, and more. You have to upgrade completely. It's an evolution, okay? When Jesus died, he was poisoned by John the Apostle. This happens live on my channel, okay? The first one was not live. That's when I processed his death, but I recorded everything, so I uploaded it for you guys to see what you need to see, what Spirit wants you to see. You can't heal in these. You need to actually do this. Okay, this is because it's life-changing. Once you start on these paths, you can't stop because you go through all 12 gates into the 13th, and you are trialed and tribulationed by God. It depends on your karmic patterning. You have to have all this to the surface so that you can see clearly. I talk about the fact that I had to put all the animals through the gates and not all made it. Okay. There was a karmic kickback for those that couldn't, for those who messed with their DNA. What do you think the push for the V was at the same time? This is all very real. And other people see what I do after I do it, okay? All the star seeds and light workers and De La Roca and the ones that I show on my channel, the ones that I point out to you are Arwen, that guy. He actually got a download of what I did in Mount Shasta to California because I cut it off of life support, okay? So I undid the false veil. Jesus and Mary Magdalene were separated. Every twin flame was separated. That's what happened. Adam and Eve, Jesus and Mary Magdalene, and Sekhmet and Horus. And those are all my lifetimes because it's the same soul, different lifetimes. It's God. That is who I am. It's not a joke. Pyramid Portal Activations Workshop, Nigeria, Botswana, and Zimbabwe, done 11/22 of 22, 40 views. This is because people are judging. And if you refuse to watch, what is this is why my DM matters so much. Return of Christ, Adam and Eve, Jesus and Mary, and Sekhmet and Horus. I am the eye of Ra. He is the eye of Horus. If we are not together, people can't see clearly. All right. So my DM has his own thing he needs to do. All right. He has his own things he needs to do for the collective soul, just as I do. And he is. Okay. I feel him. So I'm about to show you my latest workshop where I undid time, which again is like the Sphinx part 2. So I activated the Sphinx here. Okay. And the portal of God is at Fiji, where I activated the first pyramid I ever did. Okay. Awakening the God's portal. 225:21. So first I freed Jesus's soul. I rose Atlantis, which when I rose Atlantis, that one wasn't recorded, but it was witnessed because at the time Spirit hadn't told me to record them yet. I was doing an exchange, I think, with somebody or something like that. And I sat on Saturn and I rose Atlantis with Hermes, the god. And I undid my contract that said Atlantis would never rise again because I was murdered. I was Eve. Okay. That's the beginning of time. That's what happened. Archangel Samael fell from God and tore apart God and got you guys praying to a false God. Okay. That's what happened. Jesus didn't die on a cross. Okay. He was murdered by John the Apostle, who poisoned him with bread and wine. The cup that he drank the wine from, that's why they call it the Last Supper. He had Mary Magdalene gather his blood. And then they wrote a false contract, trapping you all. That's when they talk about that. They talk about Israel being captive, all of these things. I undid all of that. Okay, so there's no coincidence to what's happening to the world around you. If you're paying attention to my videos, what's happening to the world around you is proven from the last 4 years of the work that I've done. Everything I've done and said in these is actually unfolding in the world around you. Problem is, most of you are judging it. Most of you are in your shadow so much you can't see God clearly. And that is what is scary. Okay. But it's power. I keep telling you what you have to do. All right. So, when I tell you this is only a piece of what I've done, it's true. More pyramid activations. These are not normal. It's not like I go to a pyramid physically and I'm like, oh, the energy is great. Let's read some messages and channel. No, these are not normal pyramids. This is Indonesia, Myanmar, Machu Picchu, Peru, Budapest, Thailand, Nigeria, Botswana, Zimbabwe, Congo, Kilimanjaro, British Columbia. These are all the pyramids that I've activated over the years. And they're mostly here. The Sphinx, which is the portal of time. The true meaning of this, the true name of the Sphinx, I can't pronounce. It's not the Sphinx. That's what you guys call it because it looks like I did in that lifetime. But it looks like what it means is the return of Horus, which is my DM. Okay. He was killed by Thoth in that lifetime and they fucked with the moon. And if you're watching what I did, eliminate the false negative pull energy on the moon. Okay. I did this one a few years ago, eliminated the false concept of time. Now I did part 2 to this one just the other day. Okay. That's what I'm about to show you. I did part 2 to this one just the other day. And before this, in all of these 21 days, I did a sun activation live on Sunday, which was not normal. This was combining 7D. I did things to the sun that nobody else can do because I am the god of the sun. If you're watching my videos, they prove this to you time and time again. Here, I did an urgent activation of the Ayin, Ra, and Horus in the brain because my DM is not aligned with me yet. He's getting there. I feel him every day and I love him dearly. So I wasn't supposed to be alone. I'm supposed to have my twin flame. When I did this one on Christmas Day last year, where is it? This was done on Christmas Day live on this channel. I didn't know it was coming. I had to call off work on the crisis line. Spirit told me to, and they told me to do a meditation on YouTube. So I did. And then I found out that I was uniting Jesus and Mary Magdalene. My twin flame was supposed to be united with me at that time. And it hurt that I had to do it alone. And I undid the false Holy Grail, which was the contract written in Jesus's blood that trapped all of you. And it got you worshiping a false god. The reason why they would depict him on a cross is because the true cross is the Ankh right here, which was all a part of my awakening. This would come through in downloads. Right here, you can watch my very first contract workshop, where I tell you that I am removing all darkness from this planet. I created the divide. It tells you in that you're watching God. This comes through God. That's who I am. This one, I tell you, we have a little bit of time left. This was after I did Fiji part 2, which is not uploaded here. You can only find that here. Okay. I remove you from the matrix, major trauma release. Okay. Prometheus tells you more and more about who I am and who he is. Karmic contract alignment. So that way you can see them clearly and remove them through each portal. This is not a joke. Okay. The hidden shadow elimination. There's more shadow that I take you out of. Being able to accept light codes and extension activations. Like I said, you don't just automatically get those. You have to be able to accept Christ's light. By the way, calling back your power. So I teach you how to do that. Okay. This is a whole course. Every course that I do also usually has healings with them. Okay. Then I start taking you out of the matrix and everything else. So I wake you up. Then I have you call back, start eliminating the shadow. Then I have you call back your power, which you have to do many times over. Through every portal. You have to do that before you get the DNA activations and all of that. You have to make it through the portal, be able to see clearly to choose God and against your karmic patterning. Then you call back your power, then you get your DNA activations. If you can't do all this, you don't make it into the new earth. It's not a joke. Do you hear anybody else telling you that? Why? Because they aren't the one who brought about the return of Christ, and even some of them can't see it, and some of them may not make it either. It is a rite of passage. It is not a guaranteed entry. This is the return of Christ. This is redemption day. or what some call the apocalypse. And I brought it all about. Activating pyramids. When I did Kilimanjaro, I talked about Hawaii was so in trouble. I needed to move it. I didn't want to lose all of Hawaii. And then after that, Lahaina burned. Okay. And I kept saying Krakatui, Krakatui, and it exploded 6 days later. Everything I do is proven. Everything that's happening in your earth, I do something to the earth just prior. But unfortunately, a lot of you are cutting yourself off to that light, to the truth. Okay, you're in judgment, and judgment is not of God. What I will tell you is what you think it should be is not what it is. Okay, I had another person tell me, well, why doesn't everybody see you? Because when my twin flame chose the shadow and the darkness and he couldn't get out of it, and I was being attacked by the fallen angels and he died, a lot of people fell off in judgment right along with it, because I am the eye of Ra and he is the eye of Horus. And it takes both of those coming together for everybody to see clearly. And if I didn't survive, none of you would survive. Okay. Accepting Christ's light portal, you have to be able to start doing that. Karmic contract alignment, the hidden shadow elimination, being able to set light codes. Mount Shasta elimination part 1, Mount Shasta part 2, Fiji part 1, Fiji part 2. These are portals that you have to go through. You will regardless. This was the false veil. Okay. The false veil was created by Mount Shasta. It is not filled with light at all. I say that until I'm blue in the face, and still people are so ingrained in that shadow, they don't want to hear it. That is where I burned Samael, and you can actually watch that here. But do you think people are clicking these videos to watch them? Unfortunately not, and that hurts you, okay? Because God says, look what I did. And most of you are like, yeah, fucking right. Okay, not good. Okay, that's your shadow. Let it go. Step outside of it. You're going to be tested anyways against it. Mount Shasta part 2. This was painful because I wasn't supposed to do it alone either. It was supposed to be my twin flame. Part 1, I took out all these souls that were trapped there. Okay, it was not filled with light at all. Part 1, I took out all these souls that were trapped there, and I undid the contracts back to the president with the top hat. Oh, what was his name? Back to the beginning of presidencies, the one with the top hat. I can't remember his name right now because I'm having a brain fart, but it's in this video. Okay. And I removed all these souls and I cleared the root chakra. And then when I did this one, I returned the root chakra to Fiji, which is where it belongs. There was a pyramid under the water there that I activated using my light to activate and awaken. Okay. I rebuilt the crystalline grid in a lot of these. Okay. And then in Fiji part 2 is where I undid the contract that Samael created there. He had some masculine cut his feminine's head off, and the bloodshed was there, and they wrote a contract again. So this was a common thing. They would separate the masculine and feminine, kill off God, and get you all praying to a false god. If you don't realize by now, it's a battle for your soul. And if you're judging me, they're winning your soul. Okay, that's not a joke. If you can't see clearly, yes, I have your only path home, I don't know what to tell you anymore, because my friend's time is running out. Okay. Sequoia guided meditation to release past lives and karmic shadows. So what you don't realize is I take you through it's a whole entire rebirth. You're either reborn here or somewhere else if you can't get through the gates. Revelations 21:12 and Revelations 13 are what I have brought. I brought about all of Revelations. Okay. Releasing darkness of the false moon shadow. So that's what happened with Sekhmet and Horus. Thoth killed Horus and manipulated the moon. Okay. And then this one guy recently did a video about the moon and how the reptilians are fighting for your soul. And they see this after the work that I did. So what I do is seen in the collective soul afterwards, because what I do boomerangs into your reality. That's God. Okay. It's just like manifesting. Sun ascension portal guided meditation. So I am the god of the sun. My DM is the god of the moon. Eliminate the false concept of the moon. Worksheets for workshop. That's something different. Vibration recalibration. Zoom link removing ego body, addictions, fear body, limited beliefs, shining the light within, anchoring in our vibration and light, and divine manifesting. This part does not matter. Shadow work of the crystalline grid. This is what I'm talking about. I had to remove all darkness. When I did the Nile, I took the dark crystal out of the core of the earth. Okay. Sturgeon full moon workshop, dark side of the moon. New moon workshop with goddess Athena, Luna to release and manifest anew. Guided meditation to complete phase 1, false moon removal. This is not a joke, okay? And one of these, a satellite fell out of the earth, and I said it was going to, out of the sky, and I said it was going to. Then I said the next time they listen in to you guys, their ears were going to bleed. So you think now that this rush to the moon is any coincidence? No. Pay attention to what I'm doing, because everything I did is playing out in your environment. Pyramid activations, 2020, 2020, 2020, all right before Christmas that year. Ascension activation, these are pyramid activations. It's time to align to the correct time. Elimination of false concept of time. And now I did part 2, and I'm going to show you guys that. You can't heal in the ones on here. They're for you to witness. If you want to heal through them, you get the path to righteousness. That's your path home. Rising into the Garden of Eden. Why? Because that is the, okay, so there's another one I need to show you. I process the earth's death and her rebirth. Processing earth's death, taking her into heaven. Everything else burns. Okay? This is when Garden of Eden spread all over the earth. Everything outside of that will burn. That is why they depict hell as burning, because it doesn't align with Christ's light. So if you have any shadow components left in you, you won't make it. Okay? These are not a joke. This is God's earth now. Time is up. Prophecy fulfilled. Revelations 21:13 workshop done just recently. Watch all. These are workshops. This is me actually doing the work just like this one to the earth. Except somebody literally commented on this one that I'm not the one that did the work. And I'll tell you right now, they can't seek God. They are knee deep in their shadow. If you bring judgment to God, what do you think that does to you? If you can't see God, what do you think that does to you in the end of days? Because this is the end of days and for some, and the end of ways for all outside of God. Twin flame shadow healing. Jesus unites with my DM. My new twin flame took on Jesus's soul out of the Garden of Eden. It went up into him in this one, and I didn't see it coming. That was 3 weeks ago. Right now, I am doing the 21 days, which was a healing workshops. These are part of what I was showing you, okay? That was part of these. This was part of that. This happened on day 13, and then after that one, we did something else as well. This is also part of that, where in the end of this one, King Charles and his wife's skin fall off, okay? The Sphinx fully awakens in this one. This is necessity to see, because in this one I'm about to show you, I do something else with the Sphinx. So if you think for a second that who I am is like everybody else and who I am is not, you need to stop judging, and you need to open your heart, because you're running out of time, okay? If you cannot see God, you won't make it, because this is God's earth now. And God does not judge. That's that shadow component, El Diablo, these lizard people, whatever you want to call them. What I call it is anything that's not of God. It's void of light. It's void of life, and it will not exist here anymore, because what I did is to your earth. And if you can't align with what I've done through the healings, through the portals and everything else, you won't stay here. It's going to eliminate you. I cleared out all 12 gates of darkness. There's one more thing they want me to show you. I cleared out all 12 gates of darkness, and I opened up the 13th, which is the gate of heaven. I didn't know I was going to turn the Nile blood red. I didn't know I was going to dry it out. The first half of this was just them giving me gifts. That's what I thought this workshop was. Cool, we're going to get gifts. And then halfway through, they separate me from the group, put my feet in water. It turns blood red. I call back my power from the time of Sekhmet. And then I eliminated the dark crystal in the core of the earth. I crushed it, and I rebuilt the one of light and replaced it back to God. The gates of heaven opened. So there's 13 gates you have to make it through, not 12. But all the 12 gates of darkness I've closed off. They can never return here again. Okay. So who I am, who I am is not normal. In this one, I burned the White House. I eliminated it. I eliminated the alignment so it can never rebuild again. This is my earth. There will not be a presidency. It's a king and queen. God, masculine and feminine. That's who rules the earth. This was more pyramid activations where they told you I was Sekhmet. Then I was like, holy crap, I'm Sekhmet. My mind was blown. Then I cleared the Nile, and I didn't see it coming. So I started out with Adam and Eve lifetime. Then it went into Jesus and Mary Magdalene lifetime, and then Sekhmet and Horus. And those are my lifetimes that I've cleared. What are yours? A lot of you have many more than I did that you have to clear and make it through. Okay. Prophecy fulfilled. I would suggest you watch these. And this one was Revelations 21:13. The prophecy was fulfilled. I took Christ's light and I shifted your equilibrium of the earth. And when I did that, hours later, it's what happened to Iceland. So you need to pay attention. Okay. And if you don't, that's fine. I just may not see you on the other side. And I'm okay with that. It's up to you. Okay. So I'm going to leave you with day 15 of 21. These 21 days is the preparation for the final component, the event. Everything else is done. The earth has already been changed. She's ascending into 7D. And if you can't ascend with her, you won't go. Some people can see what I do, like De La Roca channels it immediately afterwards. Okay. And what you need to realize is timelines only shift through your choices. They will only shift for you through your choices you choose to make to see God and love and nothing more. If you can't do that, that's on you. Okay. Elemental purpose. Everything has a purpose, even things unseen. So what I'm saying is very real. Just pay attention. It goes deeper than you know. And sometimes you have to watch these videos more than once. Everything is brighter when you are aligned. So when you're actually aligned to God, when the shadow is cleared, you can see clearly. Okay. A journey into unknown territory, you only enter into a new timeline through the choices you make in disguise. Watch this one. This one I didn't do through Zoom. I've been doing it in recording because Thanksgiving. So my daughter's birthday is this week as well. But this one was yesterday's. And it was given to my people in the workshops. Okay. So usually I do them through Zoom. This one is different. But it's undoing the timeline part. Hello, too. Everybody. The Sphinx. Welcome to day 15 of 21 days to healing back. So most of you haven't watched a lot of my videos. The Sphinx is actually the portal of time. It's not called the Sphinx. It's the return of Horus, and he has returned. And so if you're truly watching these, everything that I posted recently also talks about that. You need to watch this one too. Okay. No, this one. Which one of these? One of these. I had the Sphinx in it. So just watch them. This one. Something happens to King Charles and wife. Sphinx fully awakens. And this was just 4 days ago that I uploaded. So this is part of the 21 days. We're doing something every day. All right. These are important. The Sphinx fully awakens and more. Prep for event. Workshop. Okay. And now you are going to watch this one, which was day 15. Back into love and higher vibrational frequencies. With today's, there's a message that is coming through. This is about trusting the process. This is about understanding that God and Spirit knows more than you do. They know more than you do about what's to come and what's happening, and your higher self is involved knowing what growth you need to take, what karmic lessons you need to clear, and what you need to let go of that will protect you. But not only that, they also understand and know how to bring in your highest capacity abundance. So if you choose to allow ego or something to step in the way and say you're not going to listen, it blocks a lot of good things that you don't get another chance to get back. Because right now, in these energetic waves, as we are in the last of these energies, they don't keep cycling back around. So when Spirit nudges something to you, it's most important to surrender, and surrender now, because we won't get another chance to do it again. Okay. So be mindful of that. You need to tell your ego that no, God knows more than I do, and remind yourself of this. Okay. Your higher self is usually involved when you get downloads and messages, and understand that they know more than you do. Okay. So that is part of the message. So we're just going to now tune in and see. I'm going to recommend you listen to this diligently. Okay, the ones that did my workshop get to heal in this. If you purchase the Path to Righteousness, I will be even adding some of these to it for the healing purposes, because not me, I have thousands of chakras, but those that actually did the path and have gone through the gates with me, have done all the healings and activations, now have 10 chakras in their main center, not 7. So it is an evolution. If you cannot align to the new earth, you do not stay. It is not as simple as just riding the waves all the time. Okay. Some people have purer hearts than others, but you still need to be doing what you need to do. Okay, so listen, follow those nudges. If you can't hear your heart and you're in judgment, you're in trouble.
What's coming for day 15? More about owning our truths. This music today that will be uploaded with this is brand new. It is throat chakra, third eye, and crown, with an emphasis on the heart as well.
By the way, that's the one that I'm uploading over here right now. Right here. It's an 8-hour one and it's 4K. So it takes me 2 or 3 days to upload. So you guys can actually use those to heal. I do Hertz music as well, which does help you. So everything I do is your keys through and into the new earth. I hold the keys, period. Other people like De La Roca and the ones that I do share on my channel do actually tune in to what I did after I did it. And if you're watching, you will see that too.
So this will open you up to divine truths even more every day, and also love. Okay? So I'm going to call on the angels and the creator of all that is and allow them to be with us today. I have lit my candle in protection. I call on the energies of the north back to the north in the complete cycle of the one and the unity of all involved. All of the gods and the masters will be with us here today.
Oh, hang on. They're nudging me to something I forgot to show you. So in the path to righteousness, these are where I bring down Christ's light. None of the videos on my YouTube channel show this, because if you do this and you're not ready and prepped through all this other stuff, it'll burn. You cannot align with Christ's light if you are not open to receive it. If you have shadow and karmic components, you are removed from God to a certain degree, if not all the way. It just depends on who you are. So resurrection of Christ into the heart space, green rays, you have to be able to accept it. Angel rays, blue gamma rays, these are all Christ light. I bring it down through the angels first, and then through those that joined me and into the earth. Day 1, integrating pink rays, yellow rays, and those are the sun. Day 2, Christ light into the yellow rays continued. Violet rays and rays of the sun, these are all Christ light. This is how I brought it down to the earth. I brought Christ light back. I brought the DNA activations into the earth as well. And if you watch these, if you take the path, if you work with me, you would know that. Throat chakra opening and alignment, divine healing and ruby rays, Golden Gate Portal Part 2, Golden Gate Portal here. So these are all Christ light activations, and each one is 2.5, 2.5, hour and a half, hour and a half. This one was day 2 of this one. So this one actually ended up being 2 hours in total. You see what I'm saying? And people comment all the time, can you channel this? If you want to work with me, you have 4 options to do so. I do lives where I will do free messages sometimes, or you can donate for a healing session, which is much more affordable. The healing sessions I do are all inclusive. They are medical grade. They really do change you and affect you. So you have to be willing and open to receive them, first of all. I don't want to know anything about you either. That's first option. Or you can go to my website and purchase healing sessions. I do animal ones, people ones, and you can do messages. It's up to you. Or purchase the Path to Righteousness or my Alchemy Academy, because not only are we ascending, we have to become the activated 7D healers. Okay. So if you can't be a light healer, then you won't be in your full power either. All right, we have to understand certain things. You cannot, so if you're getting healings from people who haven't had all these DNA activations in Christ's light, they're not healing you from God's light, because I cut off all of that from this earth. You have to be upgrading. That's why some people can see what's happening and other people cannot. And if you're paying attention, 19 weeks, if not a little more, this takes you to do. So we're running out of time. So the DM not aligning does hurt people. It's your choice to see God when God's right in front of you. So listen to this, because this is very important. It is literally only about 40 minutes long. The music goes longer. So it's not too much of time. It is not just an investment. It is a necessity to see God and what's happening to your world, because it's about to change everything around you.
I call on Father Sky and Mother Earth and all of our spiritual animals and ancestors as well. I'm being told to call in for this one. I'm going to bring down our connections from the sky above into our crown, our heart, and our backside. Make sure they're nice and tight. Make sure that they are providing light of clarity and ease and healing and awakening and grace. You must know that there has been a very difficult wave of energies that made through yesterday, and it almost knocked me off my feet. It was very close. It was very difficult energies to bypass, but I was able to do so because I'm in balance and I'm seeing clearly at this time. So that is very important. Okay, this was an attempt to sabotage, I'm sure, the twin flame union. So be mindful of the energies that are at play. These are very important. It's not just about you, remember? It is about the unity of all.
Yeah, that's another thing is if when my DM died, I knew his family wasn't going to ascend. You don't have to. It's free will based, but it's not just you. If you're here, you're a chosen one. I'm not a chosen one. I'm not. If I didn't make it, none of you would have. Okay. I brought about all of it. I changed the earth completely. I ascended the planet. I brought back God. All right. That is who I am. Everybody else's job is to hear what God puts in their heart to do. We all do that. Mine was different than yours. Your job is to help you and your family through, to break free of your karmic and your shadow, but it's your choice because the return has already occurred. You either stay here or you don't. Okay. Some will go, some will stay, and some will never know life this way. That is what they call Judgment Day, but God doesn't judge, only those in the shadow do.
Unity of all involved, the healing for all. So please be mindful of that. Start taking some deep breaths and putting your feet on the ground. Your palms up for receptivity, receiving mode. And I see a clock. I see a clock appearing above us. It is a very big clock, and the hands are moving. And as I see it, the hands are speeding up and speeding up and speeding up until the clock just bursts. Undone the false concept of time. It is time to rearrange the understanding within the mind, the body, and the soul to the new timeline of time. Time does not exist. It was created by man. Energy exists, and energy only. The frequency of God and of the One. Everything is in the here and the now and the here and the here and the now only. Nothing exists outside of this moment in time. It is up to you to listen diligently to the things that fill your soul, to the nudges that are inside you that ask you to move and move quickly in truth. The time is now, my friends. The moment is now, I should say, to move and move wisely, to speak and speak wisely, to listen to the nudges of the One and only the One.
I burp when I release, for those who don't know, or channel.
I see the clocks breaking all over the world. So as I said that, as I'm doing whatever I'm doing, I see clocks breaking all over the world. I want you to know you are on your bench. Focus into your bench diligently so. The wood, the energy, and at this point, you are given a crystal in your hand. So open your hand and a being will step up.
You have to remember that there's people in this workshop. There are people who've gone through the gates with me that do all the work that I do. They have already ascended. One is just about to walk through the gates herself because she did the path. And she's in my Alchemy Academy. So they're not a joke. Okay. And those are who I'm referring to in these videos. This is just for you to witness. If you want to partake, you have to work with me. God wants you guys to see who I am and what is coming and that he fulfilled his promise. Now it's your job to have faith in him.
And provide a crystal for you for helping this transmission. The portal of time is coming into play. The portal of time is coming into play. I am opening up the portal of time.
Sphinx.
This is a time warp. This is a time undoing for the entire collective soul. It comes out of your energy base and out of that of the earth. It is an undoing of the tick-tock of the false time. People will know now the reality of the true moments they have. Everything must be done in this moment, or they miss the opportunity to be whole. The time, the moment is now. There is nothing else and nothing more. The moment is now. There is not tomorrow or the next day guaranteed galore. Nope. The moment is now to seize the opportunity for love and love more. The moment, not time. The moment, not time. The moment, not time. Moment, not time. Yang kantalawi, tune into your bench and the crystal in hand. Something is coming that's jarring. Breathe diligently.
Did you hear me? I told them something is coming that's jarring. This will, what I do affects every person on this planet. But where you go with it depends on you, your shadow, and your karmic patterning, and how, if you can see God or not. Now, if you found me, there's a reason. But I would say keep your judgment to yourself and heal it. Because part of what I do is reflect your shadow. That's my job as a master healer, okay, and an ascension master. So don't spit it at me, because what you're doing is spitting at the one who actually brought all this about. And it's not a joke. This is the end of ways. And for some, the end of days. So this is meant to be jarring. Nobody's going to walk out of this earth unscathed. Nobody. Or this ascension.
The life that is you, the connection to the one will flow through. I am putting everything through the portal of time. This speaks the the gates to the Horus returned. My monument to the one are opening up. They're opening up quite wide, and I see the wind start blowing around. Recently, I activated it more, if you were paying attention, and I filled the eyes with bright light. There is a big, huge black hole in the bottom of this space, and it is starting to spin like a tornado, more and more and more. I am eliminating all of the false concept of time from the entirety of the collective soul. This causes certain timelines to go faster and other ones to slow even more. Be mindful of what energy you are in. If you anchored into any shadow components, it will hurt, it will speed up and be confusing, especially if you're trying to be in both worlds. You cannot. Be mindful of your surroundings. Pay attention to where the energy flows. Pay attention to where God speaks, for that is the only space we should flow and we should go. For you do not have time. The only thing you have is this moment now. The only thing we should focus on is this moment now. Now that you were given a crystal, a certain being, like Ashtar, a galactic master, is going to come around to you. And they are going to open your heart like a light shining out from your chest. They are going to open your heart diligently like a light shining out from your chest. And Kilimanjaro is coming into play as well. A nice, beautiful light shining up through Kilimanjaro to the dome of the sky. Wow. Nobody can be connected to this energy of Kilimanjaro. I am throwing major Christ light through it and into the sky. Holding the key in my hand that God gave me tight, very tight. It is the Anki, remember. It is the key of time, the key of life, the key of all. It is mine. This earth is mine, and everything on it is mine, and it must beat to the heartbeat to the one. Your heart is opened, and now will be your mind. The third eye in the crown. This being that opened your heart is now going to open your mind. Open your crown and your third eye, and a bright light will shine through. The portal of time or the Sphinx is spinning even faster and starting to pull everything through. Everything of the matrix is being pulled through. Everything that I have done is being pulled through. Like a vortex and a magnet just sucking and sucking and pulling all darkness, all false time, all false remnants of the shadow, of El Diablo, of anything outside of the one. I am shining light through all. This is difficult for some. If you are connected to ones that have not made it through, you cannot take on this all because it will hurt you. Gandawi, I have to protect you. Otherwise, it would be a separation of souls.
And do you understand what is happening? This is a battle for your soul. You either choose God or you choose the shadow, or what some would call El Diablo. That's what Spirit calls it. It was the fallen angels. That's where it originated from. So you need to understand who I am and the brevity of what I've done, because if you can't see God, you're in trouble.
That is not good. Kanta bata u ko to e tai kia ta o ko ta u o to u o to o to i ka tai ka bata u to i ta o. I see everything being pulled into this vortex, people, energy, all clocks, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. All falsehoods, all realities need to come true. I see satellites being sucked through. I see power lines being sucked through. I see light poles being sucked through.
Power lines, light poles, none of that is in reality. Our crystalline grid supplies all the power. When I repaired it and activated all the pyramids and I replaced all the crystals underneath them, and they are now filled with Christ's light. We are not meant to pay for electricity and water. Those the earth supplies. The earth supplies everything we need. There will be no more suffering, no more tears, no more separation, no more division, only that of unconditional love, that of a king and queen union. That is God. Masculine and feminine, that is God. Anything outside of that does not belong.
More clocks, more time, more falsehoods, and combo do you I am standing in the center of the earth, on the outer surface, not in the core. We're right in the middle of the earth. And I am shining light through Kilimanjaro all the way up to the sky, down. And I'm shining light through Fiji all the way up through the sky.
Now, those pillars of light that one guy saw, he saw it after I did the workshop of Revelations 21:13. I took all Christ's light up through the pyramids to shine into the dome, and those that could read that were reading that after I did it. So I'm not a starseed. I'm not a light worker. You guys did not change this earth. None of you can do what I have done. You may help those around you to raise their vibration and awaken, but that is the limit of what you can do compared to what I can do. You can't change and activate pyramids. You can't rebuild the crystalline grid. You can't unite twin flames, Jesus and Mary Magdalene, Adam and Eve, and Sekhmet and Horus. You can't do anything outside of what is you're capable of doing. I'm the only one who could do what I have done, and you are the only one who can do what you can do. Don't take my power from me, and I won't take yours from you. Okay?
Shining light through the God portal all the way up through the sky. They are opening up your solar plexus, and light is shining out of it. I see doors closed. They're like slamming shut. And then this whole false reality. It's like a whole, how do I put this? Like a whole version of Earth is being sucked through this portal. The whole version of Earth, water, false trees, anything that's been messed with, anything that doesn't belong, that cannot stay, is being pulled through the portal. This includes like satellites. I see some spaceships. I see some what we would call alien things, right? Like everything that doesn't belong, everything that's not God is now being pulled through the portal. And again,
by the way, when somebody told me that everybody else did this work, that I didn't do it, I took us into 70. That was me. Nobody could have done that. We weren't supposed to go to 70. I did that on accident when I was trying to survive my twin flame attacks with the fallen angels. Because I kept going and I held strong and I kept bringing down more Christ light and more Christ light and undoing all darkness, I took us further than I was supposed to. So now if the collective soul can't align more and more, it hurts. Like, it's not a joke. You can't mess with the sun and light language like that and to align the different galaxies. You can't bring in new planets. That was me. Okay, so know your power and respect mine.
For those who have not made it through the gates yet, are going to feel a very difficult pull. They are diligently already being pushed through the gates, and if there's any shadow components anchored in, it pulls them the other way. Whoa. Okay, so this reminds me, I activated this. All makes sense now. It really does. So the portal of time, the Sphinx, is open and flowing, and it's pulling out anything that doesn't belong. It's causing the earth to shake and move and grumble and rumble and things to fall. It's causing all of the foundations to fall and crumble and be sucked through that don't belong. Mm-hmm. And only the purest light will survive. Yeah. They're opening the palms of your hands and the soles of your feet and shining light through. All the false remnants of time. So when the moon was messed with, it shortened our lifespan. The reality of this and all is being removed at this time. So time is becoming lengthened. Life span is becoming lengthened now.
Listen carefully.
It's a DNA activation as well. Our DNA of our bodies will not age as quickly as they used to. So I even see crops, and everything that I've done is just pulling through this portal.
Everything that I've undone. I plucked GMOs back in 2020. I undid Catholicism. We cleared Salem. Somebody actually helped me do those two things because she was an apostle. It was a part of her life purpose to help me clear Catholicism and clear Salem and all the darkness out of those. So certain people have a part in this, and others are meant to help them heal, which helps their loved ones heal and those around them. So yes, you all have a purpose, but nobody can do what I have done. So do not dim my light, please. And I will be sure not to dim yours. Your purpose is to eliminate your own shadow and help those around you. My purpose was to change the world, and I have done it. Now it's up to you, okay? So there's the difference. But I need you guys to listen to this very carefully because what I say is part of your keys in reality. It will help you understand these energies coming in because what I do affects you in real time now.
Just breathe, breathe, and breathe. You are on your bench, but you are being opened, so these things pull through you. That way you are shining light. One had to be somewhat cut off, though. One of you is being more protected too. So there's a couple of you being more protected, not quite as open as the others. This is intentional. It's not a punishment, it's a protection.
Again, if you can't hear God, listen diligently to God, do all the healings that are needed in the lays of the land and the new earth. You can't read that energy, right? It's, you have to do it through God and the way God is, which is unconditional love only, and trust through him. It's God's way or no way, right? And your heart belongs. So your joys, your passions are within your heart, and that is also where God lies. Okay. You know how there's a lot of religious people that say repent? Repent, you can repent all you want, but you need to heal it. And that's what I talk about. That's what I do on the path to righteousness.
There's no time. Everything has to be done in these moments now. No hesitation, no distractions shall be allowed, and they will try to sway you.
It's a battle for your soul.
Misery loves company. The more you shine your light, the stronger that you become. So this is weird. So I have the key, the Ankh, the one that God gave me recently, and I see your navel, like your cord, right? The connection to life, the umbilical cord connection. And I'm unlocking it. I'm changing it. I'm changing the life structure. I'm changing the birth of life, the frequency of life. I'm changing life. I am changing the birth and the death structure. I am changing life. I am changing life. I am undoing the small false reality of birth and of life. Oh. Lake Titicaca is like trembling and trembling and moving. The water is moving almost like an ocean, but it's not. It's a lake, but there's like waves going. More exposures to come. I see water going up like a tornado into the sky from the ground up. And things that don't belong being swooshed out of the portal of time. So all the clocks are like breaking and going backwards and spinning and being removed. Flexibility, surrender. God knows more than we. God knows more than you. My power, your power, separated. Support yourself through love and truth. Love and truth. Own your truth and move now. Own your truth and take steps now. I see all the false money. I see like these big, large conglomerates. I see so many layers going through the portal. It's everything. It's being purged. It's being purged. It's being purged and cleared. It's being purged and cleared. And they're telling me, congratulations. Yesterday was quite hard for me. You guys don't even know. It was quite a battle. It was quite a battle. And in the middle of the night, I woke up and I chose love. I chose to love. It was hard. And I talked to my twin flame and told him to open his heart, and he did. He heard me. And that was beautiful. So I'm very proud. No matter how challenging things are, it's an excuse. Okay, that's your ego. You cannot be in control when God is the one. You are attached to God. This is the end of ways, not the end of your joy. Okay, there's a difference. You should never live in a world without God. It does not exist. Except the one that was created that will be void of God, where they start all over and they don't have God at all.
So it is a great reset. No matter where you go, you start all over. You will no longer have your karmic past. You will no longer have your karmic ties. You either, if you stay here, you're reborn here. All of the past is undone either way because you call your power back. All your karma is undone. That's your key into the new earth, and your shadow is healed completely. If you go somewhere else, you still, like, if you never know life this way, it's a complete restart. They start all over. So no matter what, this is the great reset, and that is what this is reflective of. I have undone all darkness back to the beginning of time. I have rewound time and also ascended everything forward. So even Atlantis is ascending. That's what you guys don't realize, is I even ascended Atlantis. I even ascended the angels. That's who I am. Okay. And so 7D, if you actually watch that one diligently, they tell you that I ascended them as well. And we combined with the Pleiades galaxy. Not normal. And no, and nobody else did that except for me. Okay. That causes you guys to have to heal even more. That's your difference. Okay. So everybody has their purpose, but I have mine.
To remain here, you live under the light of the One. It is a co-creation. That is your power. Your heart creations is your power. It truly is your heart. It's an excuse, anything outside of that. So the being that is around you is putting more light into your heart, more truth into your mind, and more power into your solar plexus.
That's the beauty of it. You guys do have your own purpose. You guys do, if we all affect each other, but I affected the whole world. Okay. The earth is mine. That is mine. I'm the one who changed her. I'm the one who undid all 12 gates of darkness and closed them off. I'm the one who opened up the 13 gates of heaven, united Adam and Eve, Jesus and Mary Magdalene, Sekhmet and Horus, which were my lifetimes. I undid all darkness. Okay. That's my purpose. I changed the earth. I brought about Christ. I returned Christ home and changed the earth. Now, your purpose is to do what is for you to do, right? And when you do it, when you choose to heal, if you choose the path home, whatever you choose to do will affect everybody around you. Okay. So you're all a chosen one, but I'm not. Do you understand? Is it making sense now? You guys can't do what I did, but you have your own purpose.
Pulling out any stopwatches and clocks and time out of your equilibrium. So they are removing at this time any remnants of the clock, any remnants of the false concept of time out of your equilibrium. And I'm doing it to the core of the earth as well. So from the outer layers to the core, I am removing the false concept of time more and more and more and more out of the equilibrium, out of the directional pull.
This one was done yesterday, by the way. This was recorded yesterday and uploaded to my people in my group. This is a workshop. This is part of my 21 days to more love frequencies, which is the preparation for the event, which comes through me. Okay, and that's not a joke. I kept saying that when my first twin flame was being attacked, I needed to bring the white light through him. I needed to bring the white light through him, but he chose to go. And I have a beautiful new soul, and I love him very much so. So it is a king and a queen. All right. Sorry. Hang on. My phone decided to ring. Forgive me. Ignore that. My phone was ringing. And it's hooked up to my computer. So let me turn that down and turn that off right quick. So sorry. So sorry. So sorry. Okay. Here we go. Let's finish.
The weather, the world is now slowing down. I am slowing the speed of the earth spin. I am slowing the speed of the earth spin. I am slowing the speed of the earth spin, and it's matching your equilibrium.
See, that's the difference, is what I do is to the earth. And those who choose to work through me are the ones that I help ascend. and do whatever they need to do to return to God and be born here and all of that. But what I do is to the earth. What everybody else does is to help those around them rise. There's a big difference.
Some are still in a faster timeline. Those are the ones anchored into the shadow. Others who have made it through the gates are not.
You see what I'm saying? So if you are ascending, your time is going to slow down. Things for you will change in a more positive light. And for those that are not ascending, their time's going to get faster because it's an exit point. That's why time doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. It doesn't exist. The only thing you have is right now, and this makes it even more. Okay.
This can be quite difficult. The way to help is to follow God's call. To surrender to the one, because they know more than you do. Do not fear. Do not be in expectation and thinking you know all, because you do not. This is beyond your capability of understanding. So get out of your head and into your heart and ask God to guide you every day. Your job is to be able to hear the call. That is your power. It is a gift. And your life call. And Saint Germain is coming in with the Akashic Records now to record all of this. So I'm seeing more crumbling of the earth, the false structure, false mountains that were made by man. There are things underneath these things that also will be exposed and removed. So you see the earth cracking and moving and tumbling and crumbling. And everything is being pulled through the Sphinx. Like a trumpet to the sky, this will be heard as a trumpet. I see angels blowing trumpets. Angels blowing trumpets. Again, they're removing another layer of the false concept of time out of your equilibrium. I have slowed down the earth, and the DNA activations are awakening. They are awakening the true reality, the true concept of time, the true cycle of life is lengthened, it's lengthened, it's lengthened. The sun rises in place it should have always been. There will be places where you see the sun and the moon at the same time, more and more and more and more. Your 8-hour sleep cycle is changing. And you must allow your body to adjust. I feel like I'm in Alaska. I hear like Alaska, the North Pole, Iceland, and I'm shining the light. I'm shining the light quite brightly, and I'm melting more snow. I'm melting more snow. New rivers are formed. Melting and melting. I see dripping and cracking and dripping and melting and moving and forming and transforming and shaping and aligning the one. And weather will change now. Truths will rearrange now. Reality will shift. For some, this will be quite hard. Pay attention to the fear aspect. Because of the group think, some will get afraid. Do not let the fear rise in you. If you are connected to the light of the one, it is your job to stand in your power. If you cannot, it will hurt. This will help everyone. You must know truths. You must know fear is not of God. You must know how to move your energy and cleanse your chakras. It is your job now. Nobody will tell you how to do this. You are supposed to know now. Makes so much sense for what I teach and brought through. So another round of light going through your equilibrium line, your central line of creation. More light going through your heart, your mind, your crown, your third eye, and your solar plexus. Your bench is beneath you, a crystal in your hand, and God is in charge. This is out of your ability to understand all of what is happening. Shining another round of light through Kilimanjaro up into the sky. Mount Shasta starts to crumble, imploding more and more and more. The earth where I shifted her around the tectonic plates is trembling and crumbling even more. It's another shift. All false alignments are being rearranged at this time. It's like big as the portal is pulling and pulling. I hear cracking, and I hear cracking, and I hear movement, and it's like people are scared because they didn't see enough. But they will now regardless. So I see young people, like children, and this is changing their equilibrium. This is changing their pituitary gland all over the globe. It's changing all children's pituitary gland to the true concept of the moments, to time. Time does not exist. It is not like we thought it was. It is quite lengthened. It is quite different. Especially 7D related, right? We have to align to the same time frame. I remember they're combining with us as well. So this is a combination of time frames where they are not in our slow time. They're in 7D time. How do I put that? Like life here was much quicker. We would die very fast. They don't do that there. So we have to mold. This is activating this within the pituitary gland, within the pineal gland, and other organs within every child on this planet right now. I'm talking littles. We're talking littles. Yeah, they're waking up. Children are able to see easier. It's like these little lights going out of their third eye. Of all the children, all the littles. They're seeing more truths than we're aware. The light is shining. This is a protection. There is this weird separation of time happening. It's this weird concept. I can feel it in my chest. I can feel it in my heart space. The angst of the time that they put on, the angst of the false time, its control, it shortens lifespans. So I see this weird contract written by someone. It's like the creation of time. It's all the way back to the creation of time. They really were basing it off the structure of shortening lifespan. Because they have a different lifespan. They feed off your soul. So the less you live, the happier they are. You provide what they need all the way. This is like a contract in a pen. It's just being blown into the portal. Sucked in the portal. Almost looks like a president, but I can't tell who it was. Somebody in power.
For those that are still listening, totally random, but I just remembered who it was when I did Mount Shasta Part 1. I undid the contracts back to Abraham Lincoln in that one. So what was that? The Gettysburg Address? Yeah. So you might want to watch that. All right, onward.
There are a few people who actually developed the concept of time, and they blamed it on like travel. But they always knew more of what they were doing beyond you. They tell you certain things, but it's not the whole story. Another round of activations and expansion within the system that goes with the true reality of time. Some of you are not able to receive this fully as of yet, but it will be waiting for you to align. So hopefully you do. It's up to you and your choices, however. Now I'm going into like the ear canal. Our equal, like our spatial presence, our equilibrium. It's shifting. So I slowed the earth down, and I need to slow this down to the earth's frequency. I need to change our entire being, our spatial presence within the cochlea of the ear, deep within the ear, within the head, within the brain, to give you your spatial presence. I am upgrading this area at this time. That way you know the upside from down. That way you know the reality of your timeline. That way you know the reality of the earth spin, the frequency, the beat of the heart, and when and what to do and where to act and what is the time for you. This is a DNA structural change. This is awakening of the soul to the earth's new timeline shift. I don't like the word time because it's false. Energetic rearrangement. Moment rearrangement. Energy is always moving. It just moves at a different frequency than what the earth was at. She has to slow down. This is causing things on the planet to shift against each other, like crack. Like a tectonic plate just hit like something hard, right? Like something on the earth hit something hard. They're collashing, they're colliding, they're crashing. I like how I put that, to collashing. I like that word. They're colliding and crashing, they're collashing. Ooh, it's like cracking. There's like time to slow down. So what was spinning fast, it's like, you know, it was halted. I'm drawing more light up through Kilimanjaro into the sky. More light up through Fiji into the sky. More light into Lake Titicaca and up into the sky. My pyramid. Flowing through and into the sky, flowing through and into the sky. This Christ light movement. Mm. Mm. The earth structure, the sun is moving differently now. The moon is moving differently now. They are in aligned with each other completely, and they are moving in sequence different across the earth than they were before. They are shining light in places that didn't get a lot of light before. They are shining light everywhere it's needed and will continue to grow more and more. It is warming up the planet purposely so. I see more ice melting.
Okay, so it's hard for you to hear. I said it's warming of the planet purposely so, and more ice will be melting.
More mountains cracking.
More mountains cracking.
More waterways moving and shifting, and I see the wind adjusting. So like tornadoes, rearranging and moving and adjusting, rearranging and moving and adjusting. I hear lightning cracking, the earth is shifting, the sky is rearranging, clouds are shifting. It's a whole thing. It's a big, big, big thing. And in your equilibrium, into the head space, into the brain, it's all being awakened and shifted and expanded. It is like almost like a replacement, I want to say, of your cochlea, your entire brain structure, really everything that's tied to this equilibrium, everything that's tied to the false concept of time is now being reborn. It's being shifted, it's being activated and acclimated with the slower frequency of the earth pull now. And the core of the earth is like heated up because I slowed her down. She will explode some. She will release the energy as needed. It's like just to release that pressure because it's a buildup big time from what I just did. The tectonic plates, everything is built up. It's like, oh, about to explode. This is why I had to cut everybody off. So your being, your galactic master, is coming around you and making sure your vessel is ascending properly, making sure your vessel is shifting properly, making sure the activations I just did are being responding to properly. Again, a couple of you are in limbo for some of these activations. Some are going through and some are not yet. So it is going to feel like you are in two worlds. Temporarily, as long as you can hear the call to God and know what you need to do. They're opening your heart more and more so that you can hear God's call, because this is beyond your understanding. You are not in control. This is God's earth. God is number one. We co-create through God, but it is the power of your dreams, your heart space, your higher self, the blueprint of your purposed reality. Freedom is different than what you think. Freedom works through God's light flow, which is our heart space, which is our joy, which is our love. That is where freedom is found. Freedom means you are not compressed, suppressed, and don't belong to anybody except for your heart and the light, the one. You choose what you do by what brings you joy. That alone, that and that alone will remain. Everything else will fall. You guys, I see oil fields. I see oil fields. Ooh, this is not good. Oil fields are like seizing. I see oil spewing, seizing, oil spewing, and I hear like this metal just coming against each other. These oil fields are not proper. They're not of God. It's hurting the earth. So they're like being cut off one by one in their own way. Fires, crashing, ceasing will continue. And more ice melting, more waterways forming, more exposures through time. The portal will remain open to the Sphinx. Those who try to mess with her, it will hurt them. So I'm putting a protective bubble around her energy, around the space there. This is a representation of me and what I've done is the Sphinx, what you call the Sphinx. It's a representation of me and what I've done, my purpose, my life, my energy, my home. The one, my DM, return.
That's what the Sphinx is. And Lake Titicaca is where Eve died. If you're paying attention to the work that I've done.
What is right, made right. And what didn't belong is gone. That is a creation of the Sphinx, which I created. This was my plan. This was my blueprint, my creation, my doing, piece by piece by piece. And I met pretty much every month. And then it does deserve respect. So there's like this line going from that to the core out to people who are connected to God. It's like, oh, sudden awakening. They have no choice. It's a jarring frequency, but it is what it is. This is like time. It's a weird time pull, right? Weird time pull. It's a weird time pull. It's the best thing I can say. Some people are going to feel it more than others. It can spark angst. It can spark fear. Do not play into that. That is the group mind. You have the light of the one. And so if you allow this to take hold of you, you will hurt others. You must be in your power. You must understand how to keep your energy open, to keep your vibration high, and to stay in balance. Ganda is more important than you know. Okay, so everything is slowing down. The earth is being anchored into her new time frequency flow. She will not speed up. She will settle in more and more to the correct patterning of the energetic flow. All false time has now completely been undone, and everything will be continued to remove from here quicker and quicker and quicker. There are literally two timelines of frequency. So one is speeding up to be removed and the other is slowing down even more. Every person is on different timelines. It depends on where they're at within the gates and what kicks them out and more. Be mindful of this, protect your energy, protect your words, and do not fall into the groupthink of fear and judgment and expectation and control. Those are not of God, and that will affect those around you in a not good light. It's a responsibility and a gift. Everything is slowing down. Your energy will remain open. This will occur for 3 days' time. It will continue removing out of your system, rebalancing your equilibrium even more. The cochlea will continue to expand and adjust and read the Earth's frequency. The galactic council, the 70 beings, Pleiadian galaxy will continue to realign with our timeline. We are meshing. We are becoming more and more one every day. This is a part of that. So be mindful of time. We are literally in a time warp now for 3 days. Our time, 3 days. Again, it could be a little more and a little less. It just depends. But roughly around 3 days. It's weird. It's hard to pinpoint. Just be mindful. This is a time warp zone and it will continue on for the next few spaces. Let's put it that way. It's really weird. I'm not sure how to classify this at this point. So at this point, I want you to feel into your bench, your crystal.
So that is pretty much the end of that one. That was day 15 of my 21 days to realign with more love, because this is a preparation for the end. The event is what you guys call it. But every bit of what I've done has changed the earth, and it will continue to change. This is not a joke, okay? If you choose not to see it, if you choose to mock the work that I've done, if you choose to be in judgment, it only hurts you and those that are connected to you, okay? If you were born here, you're a chosen one. I am not a chosen one. If you watch the videos, and I can tell who doesn't, okay? Everything I say is purposeful. Everything I say is matter. It matters. Everything I say is keys to the ascension. Everything I say and do is the work of God. Hence my name, Ascen.Master, Master Healer, and Divine Guide. I speak for God. What I've done is not normal. So these were before my twin flame died. You see, more people watched. And then once he died, once he became part of the fallen angel energy, and it was again, I had to battle for his soul twice. This shows you what the return of Christ was supposed to be. God married my DM and I, the first one, and then I was supposed to open up the God's portal, and they were to return. Okay, that was the return of Christ, and I've done it regardless. I got to walk in twin flame too, which is a blessing, and that's because one twin flame cannot survive without the other. Twin flame relationship healing and union guided meditation. This was all a part of my journey. And I didn't know I was a twin flame. I was not in a spiritual aspect. I was in the psychological field, the field of psychology, working diligently, raising my kids on my own. Okay. This was all a part of my awakening, and it all plays out on this channel. All right. Personal message of love and acceptance for my new DM. Twin flame message, Malachi, truth shall set you free. So they kept telling my DM, hey, listen. And I didn't know he was watching at first. Okay. Twin flame epiphany, message part 2, love oracle cards. All of this tells you and shows you what happened to me and my twin flame. Then he died, and I got a walk-in. That actually, I didn't want to do it. Okay. It hurt very, very badly. You guys don't understand what I survived and the pain that I have come through to bring all of this through. It hurt my vessel. Somebody thought I had diabetes, which I do not. I'm healing. My heart became enlarged when I activated pyramids. I have scars from that actually on my vessel, on my feet. These things are very real. What I have done is change the earth. It is your job now to listen to God and to follow the path home. You know, I have the path home. Everything I do is relevant to the ascension. I can tell when people are watching these, but unfortunately, some choose not to. Okay. We are on a very limited phase left because I've already changed the earth. This is what they call Judgment Day, but God does not judge. The cross was broken when they eliminated the twin flames, when they took apart Adam and Eve, Jesus and Mary Magdalene, Sekhmet and Horus, and they held captive my twin flame soul, which you guys know is Jesus, and that is who I set free. And why it took him a little while to take that part on, okay, because he has also risen through the gates. So you guys don't understand who I am and what I've done, but I would be very mindful to not throw judgment at it, okay? What really happened to Jesus, why I activated the Eye of Ra and Horus in the brain, and the countdown, okay? This is all very real. So when I did these sun activations, nobody can do that. I'm actually aligning 7D galaxy. I am the god of the sun. You don't have to believe me. It's all proven through everything I've done. And the crazy part is when you watch these first ones, I had no idea who I was and what I was doing. I didn't start to understand who I was and what I was doing until towards the end. The end was around the Nile. That's when I opened up the gates of heaven, and I was in that portal. And then after that, I walked through the gates. And ever since then, everything finally made sense. Everything came together, full circle moments. And it's continuing to do that now in this final wave of workshops that I'm doing, which is preparation for the final event. And those that are not aligned, those that choose to mock God, those that choose to not see, that choose to go against love and God and light, won't stay. Now, it's Thanksgiving time for some of us, so I hope you enjoy it. Those that actually listen to this video, know that I'm sending you love. Know that I hear you, I see you, and I thank you. And I'm hoping y'all can be a part of the new earth. If not, it's your choice. Enjoy those around you. Your family is your karmic ties. Those are your first layer of your karmic ties. So do not mock them. Do not judge them. Do not throw haste towards Thanksgiving. Love everyone around you. And for some, they don't even have the family to love. So love more and more and more. So much love to all of you. Stay safe, and I will see you next time. And if my DM listens, I love him so much. Till next time.